Hi you guys, my name is Sarah. Welcome if you are new, if you're returning, you guys. I was having a chat with a subscriber, hey Melissa, and while a lot of my pieces weren't her style, we got talking and she was like, I really like MCM pieces. I heard you, and today we are doing an MCM piece. The paint on it is chipped and old. I'm pretty sure there's 3 coats of paint on there. I see yellow, green, and then the outside is blue, but I also see white. So how many colors is that? Anyway, if you are curious about what I'm going to do to this piece today, then stick around. Let's get into it. So we're jumping straight in today into stripping it. I am using clean strip. Didn't even bother cleaning the outside because I was just going to be stripping it. When I strip pieces, I like to lay the piece down and put the stripper out on a flat surface if I can, not a vertical surface, and I just let it sit. Another thing that I do when I'm stripping, just before I scrape it off, I sort of come back over with more stripper and the brush, and I give it a swirl around and move it and see how it's doing, if it needs a little more time. I put a little extra on there if it's needed, give it some more time, and then I scrape it off. I got this piece from Facebook Marketplace. The paint job on it was really bad. When I started scraping these pieces, guys, it did have 3 layers of paint on it like I thought it would. That's never happened to me before. Come off in ribbons like that. The sides and the front are veneer and I'm so happy. The top, you guys, what? It's plastic. It is laminate, which is so disappointing that Bassett would do that, because the veneer and the rest of it is very pretty. So you guys, I'm gonna be painting the top. Also have an idea for the lower 3 drawers, but we'll get into that in a minute. I stripped each side, laying the piece down, sort of rotating it. I did not expect that color under there. Okay. And this is the next drawer. They must have painted every drawer a different color. It came off pretty easy. Then, oh my goodness. Sanding for days. I literally sanded for 2 days on this piece. Just getting it back to the veneer. It might seem counterintuitive to sand everything back to bare wood if I'm just going to be painting over it. But like I said before, the paint on this was not in good shape at all and it needed to come up. So anytime I see paint that is chipping or peeling, bubbles, that type of thing, any cracks in it, I already immediately know I'm stripping it back to the bare wood. I needed the sides to come back to bare wood anyway, because like I said earlier, I'm doing a paint stain combo, so this needed to come back to the veneer. The drawers themselves were in good shape, like there were no runners missing or anything like that, but I just like to look at every detail and make sure I'm being thorough. So I decided to go ahead and sand the insides as well as the outside of the drawer, and then I went ahead and used Howard's Restore Finish in walnut, and I just put that everywhere on the inside, you know, on the bottom, the sides, and then the two outsides. I'm not using the Restore Finish on the fronts, just on the outsides of the drawers. So like I said earlier, I am going to be doing something a little different to these three drawers. You guys, I tried something else other than what I actually end up showing you in this video. It didn't work. I'm going to have to save that idea for another day. But I wanted to go ahead and just protect the veneer with 2 coats of clear shellac. This will protect the wood from the paint that I'm doing. The laminate on top is getting a coat of primer. It's a bonding primer because it is a slick surface, and I've already scuff sanded it, but I just want to go ahead and give myself extra insurance, and I'm gonna put primer on it. I lightly sand the primer once it's dry before I go ahead and paint. Also getting a layer of the DIY paint. Look at that cover, the white. I mean, shut up. Shut up. How good is that? I can't even. Yeah, I'm doing a layer of this over here. Sorry, I was completely flabbergasted by how good coverage that is. Not too worried about the edges. If I go over, I can always come back once it's dry and just sand the edge smooth. Or even, or straight, or whatever the word is that I'm looking for. I can't even with that, how good that is. So I'm going to give you a close-up of the drawers in the next shot. When I took the handles off, there ended up being 2 holes, and I didn't like the hardware and I wanted to use my own, so I ended up putting another set of holes in it and just felt like the best thing to do for this piece would be to paint these 3 front drawers. So I'm going in with Old 57 in DIY paint, and I'm just laying down my first layer. Then I'm taking my mermaid tail and I'm going a little bigger. I'm not worried about blending right now. I am just getting the paint down on the wood. And now I'm going in with the Bohemian blue that I used on the top and the 2 side panels. And then I went ahead and let that dry. Second layer, I'm gonna blend it in. So from my own personal experience, as well as watching people like my friend Amy from Flip It Furniture, and Jodie from Decorative Vintage Design, and of course Brandy and Crys'Dawna, Brandy from Brush by Brandy and Crys'Dawna from Bella Renovaro, right? They are the queens of blending to me. So from watching what they do, I have decided to go in, I'm doing a second layer of the Bohemian blue, and that layer, that line rather, is wet now. I'm taking my mermaid tail and I'm going over the Bohemian blue just a little with the mermaid tail. Then I'm just finishing out that block in the mermaid tail, and I'm using chip brushes to lay the paint down. But now I switch to a zebra brush, and I am making sure I wet it again, lightly mist it with some water, and I am just going back and forth, okay? And here you see me, I am not breaking in the middle, I am doing long, swift brush strokes, and you want to make sure that you do that, because if you stop or start in the middle there, you're going to have stop-start marks in your blending. So I'm just going ahead and blending back and forth, and I go ahead and I do that between the mermaid tail and the Old 57 to get a nice blended look from a brighter green all the way down into that deep Bohemian blue. DIY products are now available on my website, you guys. You can head down into the description, follow the link over to 445 Designs and get your products over there. I decided to do a mid-modern design here. I'm taking liquid patina in gold of the DIY paint line, and I am just painting in the gold in between all the tape. I let that dry and I went ahead and taped off again in the opposite direction. Using Minwax in Special Walnut to bring the veneer back to life, and it is beautiful. Look at that lovely shot. Then of course I went ahead and protected everything in Minwax Ultra Clear Flat. I gave 2 coats to the body and the drawers and 3 coats to the top, just to make sure it's extra protected, because that's where things will rest. You can use a water-based polyacrylic over an oil-based stain. You just need to give it enough dry time. I let this guy dry completely for a couple of days just to be sure before I went ahead and gave it a top coat. If we just take a look at what we had before, it was a really bad paint job. So many layers, so many different colors. It was a well-loved dresser for sure. A lot of sanding, a lot of me changing my mind again, but ta-da! Here she is, all done and finished. It is gorgeous. I love it. Love the combination of paint and stain. The DIY paint, you can see it there. It's a little something different for mid-century pieces. It's more of a textured look, but I think it complements the piece. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments below. Would you have done that design on the front? Would you have done something a little different? I'm curious. Always love to hear what you guys think and your input. Just want to say a huge thank you to my channel members. You guys blow me away. as always, here's a little sneak peek at next week's piece. Does this piece look familiar to you guys? I already made this over. I've had it for sale. If you guys enjoyed this makeover, well, you might enjoy this piece. And I hope I see you on next week's piece. Bye, you guys.